Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Pamela Gitarita. In this video, I will briefly tell you the summary of Chapter 6, Sentence Semantic 2 Participant. Still have same references or sources from book Semantics 2003 by John Forsyth. Okay, without further ado, the first is about introduction. Is classifying participant. This chapter extends the discussion from the previous chapter, which examined how speakers categorize situation in sentence. The focus here is shifted to how entities involved in two situations are categorized. The central concept explored is thematic rules, which describe the semantic function that participants play in an event. For example, like in sentence, it's like Gina raised the car with a check. Gina is the agent, the entity performing the action. The car is the patient, the entity being acted upon and undergoing check. A check is the instrument, the means used to perform the action. These roles have been labeled differently by scholars, but the term thematic role is widely used. Next is thematic role. Various scholars have proposed lists of thematic roles, which classify participants based on their function in an event. Some key roles include agent, the entity that intentionally entities and action. Example, David cooked the rice. The agent is David. And then patient, the entity undergoing an effect or change due to an action. Example, the sun melted the ice. And team, the entity that moved or whose location is described. Example, Robert took past the ball wide. And next is experiencer, the entity that perceives or feels something but does not control it. Example, Mary saw the smoke. And then beneficiary, the entity for whose benefit an action is performed. They bake me a cake. And next is instrument, the means used to perform an action. Example, she cleaned the wood with an antiseptic wipe. And then location, the place where something is situated or occur. Example, the band play in a mercury. And next is goal, the entity toward which something moves, literally or metaphorical. Like example, Sheila handed her license to the policeman. And next is source, the entity from which something moves. Example, the plane come back from Kinshasa. And next is grammatical relation and thematic role. This section examines how thematic roles relate to grammatical relation, such as subject and object, while subjects often correspond to agent and object to patient. This is not always the case. For example, the door opened. The door is a theme, not an agent, because it doesn't initiate the action. And she enjoys music. She is an experiencer, not an agent, because no intentional action is performed. The relationship between thematic roles and grammatical relations is not fixed and varies across languages. Next is verbs and thematic role guard. Verbs have specific requirements regarding the number and type of thematic role they assign to their arguments. These requirements are known as thematic role grid or theta grid. For instance, the verb give requires three arguments. The first is agent. Example, John gave Mary a book. Recipient example of Mary. From the sentence before, John gave Mary a book. So recipient in the sentence is Mary. And theme is a book. Verb encode this thematic structure in their lexical properties. Next is problems with thematic role. Although thematic roles are useful, defining them precisely can be challenging. For example, the patient role is supposed to indicate an entity effect by an action, but different verbs show varying degrees of effectiveness. Like John touched the lamp with his toe. Minimal change. The captain rubbed the cricket ball with dirt. Surface level change. Alison smashed the ice cup with her heel. Complete destruction. Some linguists propose property theory, where rules are not a rigid category but flexible groupings. Next, the motivation for identifying thematic roles. Thematic roles are useful because they explain sentence structure. They help explain why sentences take certain forms and predict verb behavior. Certain verb patterns can be understood through thematic roles and aid cross-linguistic analysis. Thematic roles provide a universal framework to compare languages. Next is causation. The chapter also discusses causation, which link thematic role to how events are described. Causative construction highlighted the relationship between an agent and the patient. For example, John broke the window. John as agent caused an effect on the window. The window broke. No explicit agent, making this an intuitive construction. In many languages, causation is expressed differently. Some use morphological marks while others rely on spared words. Next is voice system. Voice systems allow speakers to manipulate the relationship between thematic roles and grammatical relation. First is passive voice. She focuses from the agent to the patient. Like active, Craig devoured the ice cream. Passive, the ice cream was devoured by Craig. Second is middle voice, highlights how the patient is affected by an action. This book reads easily, focuses on the book rather than the reader. Voice system provide flexibility in sentence construction across languages. Next is classifier and noun classes. Some languages classify nouns based on semantic categories rather than their roles in sentence. Examples include classifier, words that group nouns by shared properties, example of shape or function. A noun classes system where nouns belong to the fixed category based on gender or other feature. For example, in Bantu languages, nouns are grouped into classes based on the inherent characteristics like size, shape, or social status. So this chapter explores how speakers categorize sentence participants using thematic roles and how these roles interact with grammatical structure. Key points include: first is thematic roles describe the semantic function of sentence participant. Example like agent, patient, and theme. And next is grammatical relation, subject, object are linked to thematic roles but are not always fixed. And next is verb selection, is determined by thematic role grids. And fourth is causation and voice system allow flexibility in sentence meaning. And the last is classifier and noun classes reflect different way of organizing the semantic categories in language. Overall, thematic role provide a crucial tool for understanding sentence structure and meaning across different languages. So that's all my summary from this chapter 6. Thank you very much for watching. See you next time in another video. Goodbye.